Good morning, Nicholas. I hope you're doing very well today. My name is Yannick Art, and today we have a quick video quick little tutorial, because today I'm going to show you how to draw bicycles. So this is going to be a pretty simple video, and I'm going to go over like the main principle of drawing bicycles, like their, let's say, main structure and maybe the basics of their construction and like stuff like that. And as always, at the end we'll do a bigger drawing. So thank you for the recent support on the channel, and let's get right into the video. Now, for starters, I need to address something with drawing bikes. You'll see that when you look at a bicycle, almost any, you'll see that they almost always follow the same principle. You have two wheels, and you have this structure that consists of two triangles and the line for the steering wheel. And this is basically it. You just follow this principle. You have your pedals here, your chain and your gears right here. You have this triangle structure that is holding this entire bike. You have your seat, then you have your steering wheel right here, and then you have your second set of gears right here and the two wheels. This is basically it when it comes to drawing bicycles, so it's pretty easy to remember all of that. When it comes to some bicycles, like, for example, the predominantly women's bikes, we'll see that, for example, this structure right here doesn't follow the same path, and it's kind of, let's say, curved like this sometimes. Or when you have, let's say, bicycles that are specifically designed for something, maybe mountain bikes and stuff like that, we have a little bit of a lower frame. The seat is, let's say, somewhere right here. And maybe when you have some kind of bicycle that is very designed for speed, you have steering wheels that just look like this, with the handles that are designed for people to hold them like this. And it is a bit easier to hold, but generally most bicycles will follow this path. Two triangles, a line for the steering wheels, and that's it. So now we'll go over the tutorial on how to draw the 2D bike, and then at the end I will just try and do a simple quick drawing of a 3D bicycle. Now, the first thing we need to do is, obviously, we need to do the wheels. So we just draw two circles, not too far apart, but we'll get something like this. And then we can draw the tires. Okay, and the second one here and here. Okay, and now first of all, let's say that this is the rear tire. So we first of all need to draw the gear selector and stuff like that. So we'll draw two circles, and this one will be the blade of our wheel, and behind that will be the gear set, and here will be the chains. And now we'll also need to determine where the pedals are, since, we need to somehow drive this bike. And let's say that the pedals are going to be right here. And now the pedals are predominantly in a gear shape, so you can make some spikes around this area, and then you can draw out those areas so your pedals look like an actual gear. And now we draw a second circle, which is going to be the structure that holds our pedals, and then the first one, which is going to go out somewhat like this, and the second one, which is going to be behind this wheel, so we're going to draw it somewhat like this, and you don't really see it that much. And then we draw the actual pedals, which are going to be someone like this, and we also draw the orange reflector lights, and for the second one the same thing. And now we can draw once more a circle, and we can draw a couple of them to indicate the number of chains, and then we connect those parts like this, so it actually looks like the pedals and the gears are actually attached together. The easiest way to, let's say, texture them is just to draw simple circles all over them. I'm not going to tell you the details of our bikes, because this is what I'm going to do at the end, but this is basically that. And now we can draw the first triangle structure, which is going to be something like this, and then we can draw this, and here is going to be our seat, but we'll leave that for the later part. And now we draw the second triangle, going to go out somewhat like this. And now let's draw the wheel, the second one, the blade of our wheel, and then we do basic details of the gears behind this one also, somewhat like this. And now we connect this point to this wheel so that we have our little steering wheel. You can do a bit more detail on that. And now when it comes to the actual steering wheel, the easiest way to do them is to just draw a cylinder that goes a bit somewhat like this. Draw the structure of your wheel and then the second wheel like this. And let's say you can add details, so you can maybe add a second cylinder here, maybe you can add a horn somewhere like this. And also you can detail this a bit more so it actually looks like a bar and not just a simple line. And we are going to do that. We are going to actually detail those lines a bit so it looks like it is a bit more interesting. Okay, so we have those done, and now let's go on to the seat. So we are going to cut this part out and we're going to make a bit thinner one so it looks like the seat has been adjusted by someone. Make a little line here, and now when it comes to the actual shape of the seat, it kind of follows this path. It just looks like this predominantly and goes like this. So this is pretty easy to draw. Just make a line like this and then a second one that goes a bit like this. And now when you just draw casually, I feel like this is basically done for your bicycle drawing. So you can just say that you have learned the basics of drawing bicycles. You can obviously, let's say, add the wheel details. So let's just do a quick little rundown of the details. You basically draw small triangles coming out from your blades, and then you can do interchangeable lines like so. Okay, and also you can add some little lights here and also here and here. But when it comes to the overall drawing and stuff like that, this is pretty much it. You don't need any, let's say, high skills to draw a bicycle because they are very easy to do. And when it comes to our tutorial, it is pretty much it. But what I'm going to do also is do 3D drawing of that. So let's do that. Now, when it comes to 3D drawings of a bike, you first of all need to determine your perspective, and the easiest way to do that is to draw a plane. So we're going to do that, and I'm going to make this bicycle look like it's going in this direction. So how we do this? We do this like this. We draw a plane that goes out like this, and we now have our perspective, and then we can divide our plane into parts so that we know where our wheels are, for example. So let's say that this is going to be our wheel and this is going to be our wheel. And now with our perspective done, we can start drawing the forward wheel, and we're going to make it a bit more detailed because it is a 3D drawing, so the wheel has to have depth. So I'm going to do that. Okay, and we do the second wheel, which is going to be here. And we draw it a bit thinner than this first one, mainly because there is perspective and you need to follow it. And now, the blades are going to be a bit inside the wheel, so you can, for example, do something like this, where you draw your line of your tire also inside of this wheel, and then you draw your blades, your gearboxes and stuff like that a bit inwards. And when it comes to the rear tire, you can do a bit of a cylindrical shape because there's going to be chains on the rear tire, so this is what I am going to do. And now, we have basically our front and rear tire, and now let's do the pedals. Now, how do we determine where are they going to be? We can do this by creating two small lines, and are going to be our chain. And now we can try to make a simple pedal by doing a gear like so. And then I know you're not going to really see that, but I'm going to at least try to make it look like a gear. And now we do a second circle for the pedal. And now since this is going to be 3D, the first one is going to go, let's say, somewhere right here. And now for the actual pedal, we draw a little box. And we also draw the light. And if you're going to really see that, you also need to cut a little part out because pedals are sometimes a bit more hollow. And the second pedal is going to go in this direction because this pedal is going downwards, so the second one is going to go upwards. But you're not really going to see that since this tire is going to be hidden behind the actual pedal gear. But now you can actually connect both of those via a chain. Okay, so we have our pedal, and now let's go on to the first triangle structure. So we draw something like this, and I know we're not going to really see that bar because it's hidden, but we have our first triangle shape, like so. Now let's draw the next one. First of all, I'm going to draw the steering wheel area because it's going to be a bit easier. And now let's connect those structures, and now we have our second triangle. So the last thing left to do is basically to add details, so I'm going to do that, so enjoy the time lapse. Now would you look at that, our bicycle is pretty much done. As you can see, I hold the same principle, one triangle, two triangles and a line. And this is pretty much it when it comes to drawing bicycles. As you can see, it is very easy and not that time consuming. So I feel like when it comes to our little tutorial, this is pretty much it. Hey guys, before we get on to the outro, I will just show you a quick little thing, because in the recording I forgot to actually show you guys my line art process of drawing this bike, so here it is. I feel like it looks pretty good, but let me know in the comments how it looks. And yeah, let's get right to the outro. So thank you guys so much for watching, make sure you like and subscribe, and also make sure to leave out ideas for future videos in the comment section. I am really enjoying the stuff that you guys saying, so I will try to implement as much stuff as possible. So yeah, Janek is out. Peace.